Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Talk with AVC. We're here on another Monday and another week in the sports world. We, of course, are going to be starting with our MLB segment, and then we'll move into football and our big talking point motif. So right now, once again, spring training is still underway. We've gotten more into split squad action, and the teams are starting to more or less take shape with about a full month or so, about almost a month, 2 months until the regular season starts. I think it's really the end of this month, I think. Yeah, we got about a month left. And we're just going to start with the Yankees because my team, and I don't really have a lot of time or energy to deeply dive into the other teams as of right now with everything else I'm doing. So we're going to stick with the Yankees right now. So the injury bug is coming yet again, and me and every other Yankee fan wants to jump out a window. So Luis Severino found out that the discomfort he's been feeling in his forearm since last year, turns out he actually needed Tommy John on it. That's great. So with that in mind, he's now going to be out for the year. Stanton now suffered a grade 1 calf strain, which has sidelined him for opening day and an unscheduled timetable for return, which is beginning to become really infuriating because when you look at Stanton, you can't blame the contract too much. Well, you can blame the contract, but you can't say so much about the contract because the Yankees aren't the ones who actually signed the contract. It was the contract they inherited when they traded him, got him from the Marlins. And basically, the Marlins are actually looking a little bit better out of this deal right now because what's worse than a fully team that's in a tank that's rebuilding is a fully rebuilding tank team that has a very, very bad contract on it. So they cleared a lot of money with that move. And yes, there's no hard salary cap in baseball, but owners still have money they can't spend. And with Stanton, the problem is such not only that, it's such a long contract. I think he's got about 3 or 4 more years on this thing. His opt-out would have been this year or last year, and there's no way he's going to do that if he keeps getting injured. No one's going to pay him that much money again. And he has no trade clause. So even if you wanted to move him to a different team, he'd have to approve it, and most likely he wouldn't. Unless you're moving him to the Dodgers, he probably wouldn't want to go there. So when people have asked why is a guy like Clint Frazier still on the roster, this is the reason, because you lose a guy like Stanton. This is the other reason they're trying Miguel Andujar in left field, because you're going to lose this guy so often. You're already without Aaron Hicks. So you already got Brett Gardner playing center. Yep. So that's why you got Mike Tauchman, Clint Frazier, and now Miguel Andujar playing left field. And now Aaron Judge has been feeling discomfort in his pectoral when he was swinging in the cage. Now, they did tests and they haven't found it. It came back negative, but Yankee staff appears to be in a holding pattern with him. They don't want to risk it, basically, with everything that's been going on. So they're going to try to have him for more tests today. And unfortunately, they haven't happened yet, so I can't really report on that. But they're conducting more tests today to see if he needs to be out for any stretch of time or if he might miss opening day. I mean, if they come back negative, I don't see any reason why he would. A little discomfort is a little discomfort, but you don't want to do what you did with some of these other guys, where a slight discomfort turns out to be something a lot worse, and all of a sudden he's going to need like surgery or something. That's the thing you'd like to avoid. And I just mean, it's not even just that. It's around, and we'll move actually into the Astros here. This is actually rather hilarious. They've been hit by pitch over 7 times now. It's very amusing to watch, and it couldn't have a more deserving team. And as much as they've been stressing, the commissioners wanted to stress rule changes to protect batters hit by pitch. It's really hard to tell when a hit by pitch is intentional, unless the pitcher stares down the batter afterwards. Because no pitcher really wants to hit somebody unless they have a real issue with them, because you're just giving a runner a base. So when you're looking at that, it just doesn't really seem much of a point. And while that was the idea from the commissioner, after his comments and all the owners kind of being a little pissed at him, he's not really on anybody's happy list right now, and nobody's looking very interested in passing any of his rules. As far as the rest of the league, I'm just going to brief is that the Mets have looked interesting. Jacob deGrom still, most of the ace pitchers who have pitched still look good. Even like Garrett Cole looks good in New York. Jordan Montgomery actually looked good. And then with the Mets, deGrom looks like deGrom. The Nationals, their pitching looks crisp. I mean, you can't really tell a ton from spring training except for some of the younger guys. And what's beginning to notice me is, wow, there are so few catchers in this league who can hit. You substitute out Grandal, Realmuto, Sanchez, and maybe Mitch Garver. None of these other catchers can really hit. And I know there's such a stress on defense for them, but it's almost like having a pitcher in the lineup sometimes. When your starting catcher bats like 211 and you think that's a good thing, like with Travis d'Arnaud last year, that's a liability, and you really need to try to invest in a catcher who can at least get on base. Got some low OBPs too from that position, and it's just not a good fit, really. So, like I said, we're fast approaching opening day, and once the MLB regular season starts off, I will have a lot more to talk about as of spring training and roster decisions kind of wind down. Split squad action has started, and the league looks very promising. Looks like we might have some solid parity this year. But that's going to do it for this baseball segment here on the Talk with AVC. Yes, I know, shorter, but again, less to talk about. And we're going to move into our next segment, which is probably going to be a little long one because we're going to have a special guest. I want you guys to stay tuned. Check it out.